Hey guys, my name is Anosha, and if you would like to see how I created this beautiful look using Black Opal Foundation and Juvia's Place products, please continue to watch. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and share. Leave me a comment, and let's get started. So this is my beautiful model, Natalie, and she is my muse. So to start off, I used the Sephora Super Matte Moisturizer, and I mixed it with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter primer. And usually I just mix the two together, and I spread it along the face with the brush. Here I just sped it up so you can see how I get all areas on the face. You want to get a real even amount so the face is nicely prepped. And before off camera, I made sure to clean her face with a Sea Breeze astringent. Then I went in with my Slim Brow Absolute New York pencil in the shade Smoke. That's the primary color that I use when doing eyebrows. And I just went really slow in this area so you guys could really see. I followed the shape of her eyebrow and did hair-like strokes in the area and took my time. She's a model, so she doesn't really play around with her eyebrows. Like, she doesn't really get them groomed. So before I went in and used the pencil, I just did some very light grooming because she likes to keep a really natural look. So her eyebrows, she had really beautiful, nice, thick brows. So I just tried to lightly go in on them. They were already really full, but it came out really, really nice. So after I finished filling in the eyebrows, I went in with some MAC concealer. Please forgive me, I don't remember what shade it was in, but I try to get one as close to her skin tone. And I just used a Juvia's Place flat brush and just slowly like carved out the shape of her brows. Everyone's different with the way that they do it. But I just tried to carve it out, and then I took a fluffy brush, a dome shaped, like very compact brush, and I just blended out that concealer. And then you can see me doing the same thing on the other eye. So after buffing everything out on the eyelid to make sure that there weren't any creases, I went in with my P. Louise Eyelid Base in the shade number 3, and I just nicely patted it on her eyelid and took that same buffing brush, and I just buffed it into her eyelid and evened it out really nicely. This is going to really help pick up those pigments from the eyeshadow that we're about to put on. So you just really want to make sure you put a good amount and buff it out really, really, really nicely. So to begin with, I used the Nubian 2 by Juvia's eyeshadow palette, and I went in with the shade Morocco. But before putting that shade on, I used that same buffing brush to make sure there were no creases from the base. And then I started to apply that Morocco eyeshadow. So the goal with applying eyeshadow is that, especially when you're using concealer as a base or a base primer, whatever you want to call it, you really want to pat in the eyeshadow. That's what's going to help the eyeshadow apply to the eye better and that pigment to really show. You don't really want to go in with swiping motions, especially in the beginning, because it's just going to look ashy and the color is not going to really pick up. So for my outer corner shadow, I used the Warrior 2 by Juvia's palette, and I went in with the shade Don't Kill Me. I don't know how to pronounce it. Y'all know how it is trying to pronounce certain things from Juvia's Place. But yeah, I just once again tapped that color into that corner, and if you're patient and you just watch, you'll slowly see that pigment just build. So you just want to be patient, trust the process, and slowly build up that color. Trust me, you don't want to just go and put a whole bunch of shadow, and less is most definitely more, and it's better to build than to try to take away. So you can see that color starting to build its own. So I went back in the Warrior by Juvia's palette, and I used a few of the shimmers that they have in there. I believe that I used Bakwa and Morini as the colors, possibly Dia as well. But I know that these are some beautiful natural colors. Shimmers that you can put on the inner part of the eye. It's always going to look done up. It's always going to look classy. And once again, you want to pat that on and build up that color. So I use more of that deep golden color on the inner part of the lid for the shimmer. And then I went back in with a more champagne-ish shimmer color on the inner part. And then I went back in with an eyeshadow brush that had some leftover Morocco on it. And I buffed that out. And then here you see me going in with a glitter topper that I got from Kiki Adams from her Glow Up Academy cosmetics line. And I want to say that this is 24 karats gold. I don't think that she has this on her site anymore. I'm not sure, but you can check it out. And let me tell you, I love applying this on my clients, on myself. It really gives it that extra pop, as you can see, and it just shines so beautifully in the sun, in the dark. It most definitely is like a kit must have. And then in here, I went in with a Juvia's Place liner, a gel liner. And then I went in with a black eyeshadow from the Warrior palette, and I buffed it out. It gives more of a classy liner type of look, and I learned this from a makeup artist by Makeup by Jordan, I believe. She's great. She lives in South Florida as well, just like me. And I also learned this tip from her as well. So when you're using a lot of glitters and shadows, you're going to get a lot of fallout sometimes. So it's hard sometimes to use a makeup wipe to wipe it off, because then when you're using a makeup wipe on its own, it takes away that primer and moisturizer. So you put some lotion down or face lotion and use it to wipe it off, and it picks it all up. So as you guys can see here, I'm applying my lashes. I'll make another video about like brows and lashes more like specifically. I know that I used to hate watching makeup videos, and whenever they skipped over the lash part or the brow part, I would be upset, because it's like, oh, I really need to learn how to do this. But after making these videos, I understand why. It gets really messy, y'all. So I try to put that little clip in. Now moving on to foundation. So I'm a NARS girl. I love the NARS Luminous Foundation, but I wanted to give Black Opal a try. I know it's a staple. I usually was using it for contour, but I really wanted to give it a try for foundation. And so far, I really love it. Knowing how to use cream foundation is a beast in its own, I believe. But I wish I remember the colors I used on her, but I know I used a darker color on the outer perimeter and a lighter color inside. Don't kill me. But I love how it came down her face. So yeah, as you can see, it's way lighter on the inner part. Not way lighter, but it balances it out. And it just went on so smoothly. So it's basically like just drawing it on her face. So yeah, my favorite part, when it with Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, you're gonna see me use that setting spray throughout this whole video. I spray it, and it helps when you pat in the foundation into the skin. So once again, you do not want to swipe. You do not want to like go crazy. You want to just literally pat it and press it into the pores of that skin. Trust me, it makes a difference. Try, if you want to, use swiping motions on one side of your face and patting on another, and you'll see the difference. So you just want to be very patient and take your time. And this brush, it's similar to the Real Techniques Instapot brushes, but I got this brush from Sephora. I don't know the exact name of it. What's it called? It's no, not Sephora, forgive me. It's a Ulta Beauty brush, Precision Foundation. I got this gem from one of Kiki Adams' videos, and I love this brush. It's small, but it really gets the job done for everything. Whether you want to use it for foundation, concealers, pressing in powders, it's great. So it doesn't hurt to have a couple of these for yourself or a couple for your kid. So you want to make sure y'all get that jawline. You want to make sure you get that neck, because nobody wants to have foundation that is not blended, different color underneath your neck and your jaw. So patting motions. Okay, so what I did here is that I got like an angled flat brush, and I used the foundation that I used on her face. I think it was the lighter color, and I used it to carve out the top portion of her brows. So as you guys know, there's so many ways you can do brows. Usually I like to use a lighter concealer on the under part of the brow, and then I go back in with the actual foundation that I used to smooth out and carve out the top portion of it. Some people use a lighter color all around, but I feel like you have to go near that area anyways again on the top portion. So I just carve it out with the foundation. So here I am using the e.l.f. Concealer. Wanted to give it a try, and honestly it's really good. I would recommend any makeup artist or anybody period to get it for themselves. Let me see what name this is. This is in Deep Cinnamon, so it's beautiful for women of color with deeper skin tones. I use it on myself too, but I don't know the name. But yes, Deep Cinnamon. You can get it at Walgreens, Walmart. It's really good, very thick consistency. So I used my foundation brush that I used before, and I just once again patted that concealer into her skin nice and evenly. I use the beauty blender to get closer to the eye. Before setting it, you do not want any creases, so you want to make sure that that is smoothed out before applying that powder. As you can see, I used the translucent Laura Mercier powder to begin with underneath her eyes, chin area, near her nasolabial folds, which are basically the lash lines where I'm applying, and then on the bridge of the nose and the forehead, because we want this doll to be set. After setting the face, you want to use the same foundation brush that you used because it has that leftover foundation on it, and pretty much when you apply it on the skin with the setting powder, it's going to melt it in, so you're not just brushing it away. Sometimes when people just brush it away and leave it dry and don't put spray on it, it gives flashback and it looks real ashy. So after I pressed that into her skin, I went back in with Rihanna's setting powder, Fenty, in the shade Honey, because I wanted to kind of give her a brighter under eye. And yeah, I set it and I let it bake there for a while. And I used the foundation brush to melt in the rest of the remaining setting powder on her face. So I went in with my MAC mineralizing setting powder, and I am pressing, not swiping, but pressing that in those areas that we set. And after that, it's time for some contour. I decided to do powder contour on her, not cream. And I used my True Complexion Contour Palette by Black Radiance, the medium to dark shade. And I went in with the contour, the darkest color, and tapped, lightly tapped. If it's anything that you are going to learn today, is that you need to tap in your products. It makes a difference. So we did it in the cheekbone area, forehead area, and then ultimately we'll go to the nose area and chisel it. There we go. So we gave her a nice little humble chisel. So the goal is with powder contouring period, you want to start on the sides of the nose, but you always want to make sure that you go into like the cusp area where the eyelid is and the brow, so it can be like a natural deep contour. So I wanted to give her some color underneath her eyes, so I went back in with the Warrior 2 by Juvia's palette, and I went in the shade Zama. Yes, I did. I believe it was that color. And I patted it underneath her eye, and the color buildup was really pretty. Also, off camera, I gave her some eyeliner, some black gel liner underneath her in her waterline. I mentioned before, you don't want to look ashy, or you don't want anyone to have any flashback. So after you spray whatever setting powder that you use, you want to make sure that you go back in with your foundation brush and you tap and press it into the skin so it can melt everything together. So that's exactly what I did. After spraying her and fanning her, I made sure to go back in with my brush and cover all the areas in her face and press it in. So for blush, I used the Saharan Blush Volume 2 palette by Juvia's Place, and I went in with an orangey peachy color called Tau, I believe, and a pinkish color called Lena. Beautiful. You can see it show up on the skin really nicely. And then another thing that I like to do, I like to spray the face and then blend it in with a beauty blender to really smooth it out and make sure that it transitions nicely on the face along with the contour and foundation. One of my favorite parts, highlight. So once again, another Juvia's Place product. I used the, what name is this one that I used? I believe this is the, I'm not sure, the Glow One by Juvia's. So typical areas: the chin, the cheeks, the cupid's bow, the forehead, the bridge of the nose. And once again, I like to get a beauty blender and press that into the skin because you want everything to just transition nicely. You want it to blend. You don't want to have any harsh lines or any ashiness, nothing. So then I went in with my Milk brow not pencil, but to set the brows. And then afterwards, I put some mascara to her top and bottom lashes. And then I just used a regular brown drugstore brown pencil, a dark brown, and I outlined her lips. So for gloss, I used the Fenty Fussy Lip Gloss, which is one of my favorites. It's so beautiful. And then after that, I also went in with a Tarte pink lip gloss in the name of Room Service. I didn't show it on camera. I'm sad actually because I don't have it anymore, and I need to get some, but it's a beautiful pink color. And then I went in with my Natasha Denona palette, and I used the shimmer on the inner corner of her eyes, which really can set things off. As you can see, that thing is popping right now. And then I think I went back in with the Juvia's highlighter and just put a little bit underneath her brow. I set her face. As you can see, I drenched her. And yeah, baby girl was like ready to go. I fanned her. And she's gonna show you what she's working with, honey. A beautiful muse. She is absolutely gorgeous, good energy, a very sweet person, and I was so thankful that she was one of my models. And you're gonna see her serve, baby. Yes. Okay, enough. But yeah, I absolutely love this look. Juvia's Place products are always gonna be a go-to for women of color, even if you're not. It's beautiful. They have beautiful, good quality products. I've been rocking with them for a while, and this look just came out amazing. The brows, the eyeshadow, you can go anywhere with this look, anywhere, any occasion. And I would totally recommend Black Opal Cream Foundation. But yeah, thanks for watching my video. I have more to come. Please stay tuned. You really want to be subscribed. You don't want to miss out with the things that I have coming. But yeah, thank you. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. Stay tuned for Enosha's artistry.
This is life, okay? I love it. Listen, this is everything. The eyebrows to the T. Yes, zooming on the eyebrows. Face be by Enosha.
Period, Pooh.
The lips, oh my gosh.
Juicy.
You snapped. You did. You did. What's that?